Lovin Sheila podcast shorts. I want to pick up a little bit where we left off yesterday. And we were talking about loneliness. And in conjunction with that, I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I was reviewing as far as abandonment and rejection. You know, a lot of times, for me at least, I look at abandonment and rejection as pretty much like a childhood thing where you were abandoned or you were rejected. And so it's something that you carry on with you as a lifelong pattern where you have this fear of abandonment and you behave in ways that protect you from being abandoned, or you're kind of needy because you don't want to be abandoned. And as I was talking through this with in some therapy, we were talking about it, and we found that not only is it an area where it's from childhood, and maybe your father's abandoning you or your mother abandoning you, it also can happen in a loneliness situation, like I talked about yesterday. And I mentioned how you can be lonely and be in a room full of people, or be with your family, or be with your loved ones, but you feel alone because you don't have a sense of connectedness. Well, also in a situation where you have found that you have to be your biggest advocate, where you feel like you have to keep everything to yourself, where you feel like the only one that's going to take care of you is you. And even though you might be in relationship or whatnot, you feel very much like you're in this alone. Sometimes there are parents who are married, and they feel like they're a single parent within a marriage, and that gives you a feeling of loneliness and also of abandonment and rejection. And so what I learned in this process is, it can carry on into different relationships, and develop defense mechanisms that protect you, and you become somewhat overly independent because you don't trust anyone, because you don't really feel like they're going to be there, or you might even want to leave them before they leave you, or ghost them before they ghost you. And what I learned is these are all just defense mechanisms, and I can't say that they're healthy defense mechanisms. But the good thing that we have in dealing with this is that we have awareness, where we can be self aware and know, oh, that's what I'm doing. And that's why I'm behaving this way. And that's the root of this behavior. And I think it's very important, as we are loving ourselves, to make sure that we are aware of ourselves and our tendencies and our proclivities, and how we behave in certain situations, and how we protect ourselves, and how certain defense mechanisms have carried us for so long. And be aware and realize, is it healthy? Is it a healthy defense mechanism? Because I found that you know being the first to throw the punch, or being the first to ghost, or as I always say, my step off game is strong. And it is strong, but why is it strong? Is it strong because I'm just protecting myself? Fear of being vulnerable, fear of being left, fear of being dropped? Or is it because I am setting standards and having boundaries? And so, in my self awareness, I had to take a look at this and see what it is. And I found that it developed in a sense from abandonment and rejection. And it wasn't something I was happy about. But as I go into my deep dive and I start to become more aware, even all the ugly truths, it's like I have to deal with that. And so, yeah, I have to take a breath and deal with that. So the behaviors have been a result of that, and trying to make sure that I'm not abandoned and I'm not rejected. And so trying so hard to be accepted. And so, I just want to put it out there. I know some of us are dealing with this, and some of us are trying to prevent being lonely, and we do more than we need to do to prevent being lonely. And there's so many things that we compensate with. And so I just want to say that, you're okay. We're okay. It's okay to spend time alone. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay to accept yourself, to evaluate where we are and why we do the things that we do, to make sure that we are doing them for healthy reasons. If we're rejecting people or stepping off of people because we feel that's what they're going to do to us, that's not necessarily motivated by the right things. And so we want to make sure that we are aware of our behaviors, that we understand them, and that we're practicing self behaviors that are healthy. And just look deeply at yourself, and let's just try and make sure we're making healthy decisions, because sometimes they're not always healthy. Sometimes it just requires us to be a little more vulnerable, to accept who we are and why we're doing this, and try and get to the heart of the matter, so that as we progress, we are progressing. You know, we can progress and not progress. We can progress and keep doing the same thing this year as we did 10 years ago, or we can progress and realize what's good for us, what's healthy for us, what's a healthy boundary, what's protecting us in a healthy way, or what's protecting us and sabotaging us. So we don't want to self-sabotage. We want to grow, we want to progress, we want to evolve, and we want to do it in a healthy way. So I hope this helps you. It helped me to learn that some of these things were rooted in things that I didn't even know existed within me. And so now I can address it and try and move forward in a healthy and progressive, more evolved way. And I hope you can too. So until I see you on the next Lovin Sheila short, take